Alright, so in this one I want to go over basically my top 5 best Zenkais in the game, non-LFs, so no LFs in this video. We are talking specifically just regular ass banner unit Zenkais. So from free to play to pay to play, sparking Zenkais, EXs are included, but shocking enough, they don't make the list. So I'm going to go over my, I'd say top 3 almost made the cut, but barely didn't make it, and I'll explain a little bit why they didn't make it. So, for, I guess, and these aren't in order, these bottom 3, but it's just ones I feel like are very close to making it, but just couldn't hedge it out. Trunks. Trunks is very good blast damage, very good support, very good unit overall, phenomenal on future, phenomenal on hybrids, great on Vegeta family as well, and overall just a really good unit. It's just, there's nothing wrong about him. It's just the other ones above him are just so much better. He doesn't have any gimmicks on him with like faint, paralyze, all that. He just has his basic good ass damage, good ass stats, good ass uniques. He has everything good. Just that it's not enough to hedge out the bullshit and the superiority of godliness that the top 5 actually do create. So it's nothing wrong with Trunks. He's very strong, very good. And honestly, I see no issue with him. He's one of the most balanced Zenkais in the game. And he's designed, honestly, perfectly in my opinion. But it's not about balance, it's about who's the best. That's why he doesn't make the list. I would say he's maybe number 7 if I were to give him a ranking. Another Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. I think his blast damage is god tier. He has the feint on his ultimate. He supports for damage inflicted, special move damage, and ultimate damage. And special awakened darts, which I believe is purple cards, like Ginyu has, or something like that. But ultimate cards, awakened darts, all that, get more damage inflicted. Plus he's support, plus he has infinite card draw speed. Plus he's converting strike to blast on blast-based teams. Apologize for the background noise. Then he can just deal massive amounts of damage just because his damage is nuts. He has good tanking. He has nothing really bad about him. Maybe his tanking could be a little more. But then at that point, he's just another LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku, because all the card draw speed, all the damage that he can put out, it would just be earlier on, because this Vegeta has a lot of damage buffs and a lot of damage inflicted. So I think, again, another very well balanced Zenkai, great Zenkai ability, great on Super Saiyan, 14 if you want to run that. GT, Vegeta family, Saiyans, personally my main pick for a Saiyan team over Red Gogeta. As I've said in multiple videos, just flows better in my opinion. But yeah, really good unit, very balanced for what GT needed, and balanced in the overall scheme of the game. I would say he is my number 6. And to go to number 8, and this is just Zenkais that came out since this anniversary, but obviously you kind of figure the Zenkais that came out this year are better than the ones that came out last year. So didn't really have to adjust my list according. Number 8 is not Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I would say it's DKP. DKP just doesn't hedge it out. For one simple fact that regen doesn't need him. You can run a strike-based regen with like Fat Boo, DKP, and Blue 21. Even though she's range type, it still kind of flows well because you have 2 strike-based units, so you draw more strike for DKP. He has more damage when they're poisoned, and plus he gets more damage per card he used while they are poisoned. Steals balls, early main ability, I believe, very early. Card draw speed, gets no key on his green card though. Quick animation on his blue card, just like Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta and Blue Trunks. Green card is a full refresh hand, just like Angel Vegeta, or this new 18 has. Again, apologize, background noise, ignorance is bliss. Just kidding, it's annoying. But yeah, just doesn't hedge it out for the teams he is on. He is very good. Again, this list is not to say anyone's bad, it's just these units are not as good as the top 5, in my opinion. So, to go over number 5, okay. Number 5 would be Blue Goku. Okay, so people might disagree and say Blue Goku doesn't make the list. Maybe he's top 10, right? Most people would say he's top 10 at the best. I disagree wholeheartedly, because this is the scenario where you compare the unit to the teams he's on, to when he's replaced or when he's not replaced and how good he is individually. This Goku can 1v3, no sweat. Like, you don't need to even think about it. And this guy doesn't have last man standing buffs. He doesn't have anything. He supports, he tanks, he gets more damage as time goes on, but it's not like he needs it because his damage is still alright before he's getting those damage buffs. Gets card draw speed infinitely, gets vanish back on main, not on ultimate, on main, which is 10 times better than units that get on ultimate. That's a reference to somebody that's even higher than him, by the way. Blue card quick animation, green card heals. Teams he can be run on. God Key obviously favors this guy because you can rock him with Vados, get more healing on top of his green card healing. You can run him on, you can even look here, you can run him on Saiyans, more blast base, kind of flows with it. Angel Vegeta heals. This guy will get the healing as well. Sun Family, blast base team. If you don't have Namek Goku, and even if you do, I would say this guy is better than Namek Goku in most circumstances. Except if Namek Goku is last man standing, but even then, I would say this guy does not fall too short. Very good overall unit, and on top of the whole entire cake you're getting here, cherry on top is you get him free 7 stars, and his banner is here forever to Zenkai 7 him. Do it if you don't have him done. That is my number 5. Now, my number 4, 3, and honestly 2 were all kind of switchable. I don't really see a discrepancy between all of them. Maybe number 4 and 3, you kind of see it, but I don't see it personally. So number 4, and again, this is the unit itself and on its best teams, so understand that. Number 4 would be Purple Super Saiyan 4 Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Jeez, I'm getting mixed up because I did so many videos on him. Purple Super Saiyan 3 Goku is number 4, and to go over who's number 3, it's Red Gogeta, and I'm going to explain why. So, Purple Super Saiyan 3 Goku, the only reason he is worse than, air quotes, worse than Red Gogeta to me is the Super Saiyan buffs that Gogeta can get, and that this guy is strike-based. Now, why does that matter? Well, this guy wants to be run on a Saiyan team. His uniques involve Saiyans. He wants to be run on a Saiyan team. Obviously, your main Saiyan team has the LF Super Saiyan 3. As I've mentioned millions of times, he's blast-based. You don't want to run strike-based with blast-based units because you're making your best unit do worse than it can because you are running something that is not even helping it. That's why I vouch so hard for Super Saiyan 3 or Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, because he's blast-based. He would help Super Saiyan 3 LF Goku more than Red Gogeta would. That's what I mean here. This guy is not helping your Saiyan team do as much as it can because he's strike-based. He's diminishing your overall damage with that idea of him just getting more strike arts for the team. They don't want strike arts, they want blast. That's just how it flows better. On top of, his damage is very good, but he does have a little bit of timer count restraint, as you may know, but if you don't know, his timer count restraint is right here, up to, it's only 40 counts, but it's still a restraint, so he's doing a little less damage than, let's say, Red Gogeta off the rip, just because he's restrained. Gogeta is not restrained unless you're last man standing, but obviously you're not relying on a last man standing scenario more than you're relying on a timer count scenario, because one's clearly going to happen more often than the other, which is the timer counts will happen eventually more than a last man standing will happen, as often at least if you play well enough. So I would say this guy's number 4 just for that simple fact, but again, this does not mean he's bad for being number 4. He is so oppressive. His strike damage, his strike stat, even me not having him 14 stars here, 284 strike attack, Zenkai abilities, Purple Saiyan's very vast, and basically he hurts. If anyone he hits with an ult cannot heal for 60 counts. So anyone that gets hit from that ultimate can't heal for 60 counts. That's like you hit Yellow Gogeta, it does mediocre damage, but then he can't swap to Vados and swap back out and heal. And that's honestly Gogeta Blue's like whole shtick, healing and sustaining and maintaining, because he only has damage buffs to a certain amount of counts. So if you nullify the healing aspect of it, you're gonna kill him eventually. Plus he's an LF with low stars, or low stats, and low stars most likely. So it really helps you in that type of scenario. And Vados teams run wild. Healing teams just a thing that exists very often. You see Angel Vegeta, he heals. You see Vados heal. You see Topo, he gains health back. Bergamo gains health back after combo. All these characters have these healing aspects, and this guy can just say, nope, you don't get that anymore. Now, it doesn't nullify like Endurance, but let's say someone has Endurance, they'll be at 1 health. Basically, you tap attack them, you'll kill them. It kind of just works out for you in the best favor. On top of it, can feint. Blue card is a short animation. Strike damage or blast damage is lacking, and his strike damage does lack a little bit in the beginning. Obviously, not as much as other units, but it lacks compared to what his max power is. So I would say he rightfully stays at number 4 there in my head. Could be bumped up if you just try to convince me in 2 seconds. I could see it, and I would not argue with you. Number 3, we went over. Well, we said who it was. Ready Gogeta, obviously. Best team is Super Saiyans. Running with Bardock, maybe a purple. You could even run that purple Super Saiyan 3 just because how good he is. He doesn't even need the Bardock buffs. The team will just do heavy damage and work out well. But obviously this guy's best team is Super Saiyans. Gets a lot of damage inflicted. 20% every time he lands a strike or blast. 2 strike and blast. And then lowering card cost, having that draw speed for, I believe it is 15. Yeah, 15 counts. Reduced damage, applies buff effect, nullify normal conditions. You can't be gimmick paralyzed, all that bullshit. Up to 3 times. He just takes no bullshit and he does all the damage in the world. There's really nothing else you could say about this guy. It is just, he's just superior to everyone else that is a Super Saiyan besides number 2, which I just kind of said it, but if you don't know who it is, you kind of know from that. He's just incredible, this guy, though. Ultimate is Blast Armor, I believe. Yeah, it is, and it does Massive Explode, so it's a good multiplier. Gains 50 ki when he pops it, and plus 50% ultimate damage inflicted when he pops the ult. Not even on the main. That's very good. And he heals 20% and gains ki back, so we can actually use it, unlike older units or some even newer units that don't gain ki back on their main ability. Basically now, though, today standards, it's a mainstay to gain at least 20 ki back, so you can actually use your ultimate if you have one. And if you don't, they'll probably give you like 50 ki. Like Android 18 gets 50 ki back, and whatever card she gets, green or blue. I think it's green though. So yeah, Gogeta's very good, and his green card, can't even forget about that. You don't even need to mention it to see that he's like a top 3 Zenkai in the game. But to even base it off this, just give up, seals enemy blast arts upon activation. Sealed arts cannot be used for 5 timer counts. Counter will activate upon enemies tap attack, tackle, or strike attacks while in fighting pose. The following effects occur when this character counter activates. Plus 50% damage inflicted, 20 timer counts, and cancels enemy attribute upgrades and buff effects. Strike arts, blast arts, special move arts, and ultimate arts can combo. Now the only downside is he does not lock in like Gogeta Blue, and that can hurt you in a severe way because, let's say, they have a cover change unit. Well, you can't really fake someone out when you're forced to do a strike or blast. Like, unless you have a blue card in hand or your ultimate in hand, you really can't chain his green card because they can just swap, right? Like, they can just cover change you because he doesn't nullify it. But if he had nullify, it would make him incredible, so I understand why he doesn't. So, it's good, his green card, to cancel, maybe to get them to swap to cover change on you, or maybe you could try to fake him out, but it's really hard to fake someone out when you're going from long range and try to do like a strike, and then maybe you sidestep it, then you try to do another one, but then they PV you, and you're like, oh shit, I wasted my whole fucking situation, here I am getting comboed. So it's a good green card, but it's just not as good as it could be. It's not its best that it could be. It's like an 8 out of 10 green card. It's not a 10 out of 10. If it were 10 out of 10, this guy would be number 1. But to go into the next one, let me know who you guys think is number 2 and number 1. I think it's pretty fucking obvious who number 2 and number 1 is, but pause this video, let me know what you guys think. I'll probably have a poll up, and I probably had a poll up, actually, think about it now, an hour or 2 before this video went live, asking you guys who you think is the number 1 best non-LF Zenkai, and hopefully you voted correctly, incorrectly, and if you didn't agree, let me know. But to get into it, number 2 is Bardock, easily. He is the foundation of Super Saiyans. He is the problem with Zenkai Super Saiyans and Super Saiyans in general. If you don't know how this game kind of works, it has balance to an aspect of it, right? You see Gohan at 18 and you're like, ha ha ha, balance where? This game does have balance, and how they try to balance it is by nerfing. Not nerfing characters after they've come out, but nerfing characters when they're getting released after something broken is already in the game. To go off of that, my example is, look at a new recent Super Saiyan since Bardock Zenkai. Let's look at, I'm just making something up, Yellow Broly. How good, apologize for the background noise again, 3rd time today in this video. Yellow Broly. How ass is Yellow Broly? Pretty shit, right? It's because Bardock. Bardock's obvious unique here, that is his best thing in the game for him, is this, plus 25% to damage inflicted for 20 timer counts, plus 30% to critical rate for 15 timer counts, and plus 70% to critical damage for inflicted for 15 timer counts for Super Saiyans. This means every Super Saiyan post this guy awakening to Zenkai, even without him Zenkaiing, because I don't even think this went up when he Zenkai'd, they nerfed every Super Saiyan. Now, the one they didn't was the one we just went over, which is Super Gogeta. I assume that's because Fusion Warriors just needed the help really badly, because they had no red. They really have a year-old green unit, which I'll probably do a video on Kefla eventually. And they have another year-old LF, Vegeta Blue. They're kind of struggling in that department of their teams. And I get it, they wanted to buff the tag, just like with GT, they wanted to buff Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, make him a superpower. It makes sense, but it really screwed over the rhythm of Super Saiyan units, because you're going to have these new Super Saiyans that are initially on release going to be worse because how good this guy is. And I could state this as like a fact in my mind. If Bardock would still be in the meta today, even if he didn't Zenkai, just because how good Super Gogeta would be and is today with Bardock's unique. And not because Bardock is there, like, doing damage, but because Bardock's unique is so strong, he would still be run on a Super Saiyan team over anyone else. Like, Bardock would still be a foundation without his Zenkai. So him having a Zenkai makes him incredible. The more his allies get hit, the more damage he's going to do, plus 10% to damage inflicted every time another battle member is hit with enemy strike blast or special move arts, up to 50%. Hope you're ready. Reduce damage received by 20% when this character enters the battlefield, cannot be stacked. Applies flying effect self once 50 timer counts have elapsed from battle start. Plus 30% damage inflicted, cannot be cancelled. Increases arts card draw speed by 1 level, cannot be cancelled. And plus 30% health restoration. Pretty good. Then his main ability. Draw the ultimate arts card Revenge Assault next. Plus 40% damage inflicted for his ultimate for 20 timer counts. And increases card draw speed by 1 level. So double card draw speed, and one of them is uncancelable, just because he exists. I've said it before, this guy feels like a better last man standing than Namek Goku, and you see it here, he has no last man standing buffs, right? He's just Bardock, he's just chilling. But it's true, he does feel like a better last man standing than Namek Goku, because you have double card draw speed, you have a green card that heals you, you have 30% of your health restoration, so that green card's healing you exponentially higher, you have your 50% guaranteed damage just there, and you have more buffs that are just on the sidelines that can't even be canceled, just like this one right here. Bardock is fantastic, amazing. One downfall, blue card is a run-up animation without blast armor, same as his ultimate, but his ultimate on use, using the card, meaning does not have to hit, just has to be used, does restore your vanish, so you could play around that, have a 1v3 scenario happen very easily if you just maybe catch the first guy off guard with the blast arts, kill him with like one more card. Maybe they get your vanish out, but you PV it, so then you pop your ultimate, kill them with your ultimate, then you're in a 1v1 where you have vanish back, and they are petrified because you just killed 2 units in about 2 seconds, because Bardock's damage is exponentially high, and on top of, he even cancels his own HP downgrades on his green card, and his blue card gives them -1 card draw speed. So if an opponent does combo you, they're in a scenario where they might not even draw enough cards to kill you because Bardock is just so nuts. He's just really fucking good, and his Zenkai was not needed. And to speak about a Zenkai that was unnecessarily broken, I would say, number 1. Now, I don't have her Zenkai 7 because I don't want to Zenkai 7 her. If I ever do, it would be from the dailies when she comes back, like she's Zenkai 1 right now, because I got her from dailies when she was back that one time. She's broken. Android 18, if you don't know what she does, applies Flying Effect Self every time we face an enemy, increases card draw speed by 1 level for 10 timer counts. That is stackable, by the way, so every switch, that means you get more card draw. Restores ki by 20, and then Elegant Combo, the fun one. Plus 20% to damage inflicted 10 timer counts every time this character uses strike cards. So double card draw speed plus 20% damage inflicted per card used on a strike. Restores own ki by 10 every time this character uses a blast. So if you don't have your strikes in your hand, even though you most likely do because you draw a green card with her, and you can change blast to strike, you'll get 10 ki back. You know, that's fun. That's literally what Red Super Saiyan Blue Future Goku does, by the way. That's like a part of his whole like shtick on his unique, and that guy is barely a year old, not even actually. Then she applies Flying Effect Self when battle starts. Plus 40% damage inflicted, cannot be cancelled. Reduce damage by 25%, cannot be cancelled. Other unique, obviously, applies Flying Effect Self when this character enters the battlefield. There is a tag Android or girl's battle member other than this character in the party. More damage inflicted cannot be cancelled, and key recovery cannot be stacked. Plus 25% damage inflicted against tag Saiyan, and draws green card 3 times when she enters. So she's getting that infinite card draw speed if you keep switching because her damage is so exponential. If we look at her at Zenkai 7 here, you see it. Strike stat is almost as good as a 14-star Super Saiyan 3 Goku, plus she's doing a damage inflicted to the biggest tag in the game, Saiyans. She is ridiculous, you know it. Her damage is nuts. Blue card is a quick animation, green card changes blast to strike. She's on a team that gives her so many buffs, with Android 21, I believe, double buffing her with her uniques because she buffs girls, androids regen, and this one is girls and androids, so she's getting double unique buffs from Android 21. Then you have, let's say, Super 17, who has multiple green cards. Change all those blast to strikes because Android 21 and Super 17 are prominently blast based. You could just change them into strikes, have no issue with 21 or 18 here, and just fuck everything. She is insane with her damage output. She is the most oppressive non-Zenkai unit in the game by a mile, and honestly, I am scared of them releasing any Zenkai close to this character ever again. Now, I understand this was a mistake because they have not released any Zenkai even close to her since she is released. Yes, we know that, but regardless, she is a mistake and she is broken and easily the best non-LF Zenkai in the entire game by 20 miles. So yeah, that's my list. Let me know if you agree or disagree, if I should have changed people around somewhere, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.